Delaware. Let's ask you a question here. Steve, anything that would concern you about Delaware? No?
No,
Okay, great.
no.
That's it. That's your Penn State
Glad they're getting their
Delaware
money.
preview. That's it.
Exactly.
Yep. I have
Hopefully
nothing
nobody
else to
gets
say.
hurt. The only thing that concern me is some freak injury, right? I mean, that for Penn State,
Yeah,
that's the only
100%.
thing that can concern you,
I'm knocking on wood to a guy every,
right?
hand gesture type thing.
Right.
Um, it is wild that the main game story for Penn State and Delaware this week has nothing to do with what happens on the field, but rather where people will consume the game. That is the most important thing that people will talk about, will think about, will panically figure out at 11:59 a.m. on Saturday morning is, oh
Where's this
crap,
Peacock on my cable?
where's this Peacock on my cable? I think that will probably be what I write about this week. But that being said, I can't. I don't know. I think. Oh, did the game notes come out yet? Because we do have an important aspect to look at in the game notes. There's a factoid in the game notes. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. Penn State has appeared on national TV
Oh,
X number of times, and then X number in a row. I wonder what it says this week. Let me see if
they're out. I didn't look at it. I mean,
let's
you
see.
can't say that. Well, I guess
Well, okay. So
Peacock is
can
available
they say it?
nationally.
It is available nationally. That is what it is. I don't know if the game notes
I
are
mean,
out
Michigan
because
said they had the
okay.
biggest crowd in the country last week, right? That was the
No,
big thing
that's not
that
true.
was.
That's not true. I did have to explain to Steve what emojis are.
Well, I missed the little itty bitty line on the bottom that it was the largest crowd in the whatever. I thought people were up in arms about the 300 in a row, as opposed to
No.
the little line at the bottom, which was indeed not necessary because Penn State was the bigger
Okay.
crowd.
Here's what it says. So we will now have to look at this game note next week. Penn State has had 348 of its 350 games televised, including 244 consecutive games. Do you consider this game to be televised, Steve?
Yeah, it's televised.
Okay. So I'm very curious about this little note. So we'll keep an eye on that if and how that changes. Um, so that's really the main story. Steve, do you have Peacock?
I do not, but one of Sam's friends was here and gave us access to it a few months ago. So if it's still available, we'll watch it. And honestly, I'm okay listening to Steve and Jack. I got to listen to them 1 or 2 games a year just for the media stuff I write. So
Okay.
if this is one of those games, that's fine too. I think we may. I'm not inclined to pay for it, although there's lots of deals out there. The one I saw today was $34 for the year. I've seen $1.99 a month somewhere else. Apparently,
What
if you have
is
Verizon, you get it for free already.
I think so. What is interesting is do you have Xfinity internet where you are?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, because I feel like some places in State College do, but like in Altoona, Xfinity isn't a thing. It's
No.
what artists formerly known as Atlantic Broadband,
Right.
and
Right.
like it feels like a lot of places especially in the western half of PA, maybe like in like between Pittsburgh and Altoona, don't have Xfinity, and that's a base part of having Xfinity. Although you have to pay like $1 now for it a month. So I'm very. I think there's going to be some horror stories. Is all I'm going to say. And I'm particularly thinking about our dear friends Bill and Linda, age
In York.
74 and 72 in York, PA.
Yep. Yeah. I think I'm waiting to see if my parents call. I don't know if light's going on for my father yet. So I probably should bring that up. But
Prep.
I mean, I think he'll be okay listening. I don't know. I mean, it's the new world, it's going to be how people get games. Somebody asked me, and it's not guaranteed this is their only game there this year, right? You're not limited to one. I mean, I think probably as good as they're going to be.
Well,
but you're not guaranteed. I mean, and the NBC games are all there, right? Like last week's game was there as well, right? Because it was on NBC and Peacock.
Sure.
So if they're on NBC, they're on Peacock. So I don't know if they're guaranteed another Peacock exclusive. I know they're not guaranteed another Peacock exclusive. I don't know that they're precluded from another Peacock exclusive before his season's over.
So, okay.
But I don't know who that would be either.
Well, I think
after this, they're all big enough, it doesn't matter.
The answer is pretty obvious, though.
Well, UMass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that could be, And like that's the one game you can really get away with it because it is homecoming, and a lot of people do actually like, regardless of the opponent, will come to homecoming because it is homecoming. Like that will probably still be 105-ish. I'm very interested to see the attendance this weekend. I gut feeling feels like it's gonna be a fudge number of 100 and something, and it's probably going to be 95,000. I know we have a tailgate group of 10 to 15 people, let's call it, and myself included, we're just not going, and it is what it is. I think a lot of people just aren't that excited. I'll tell you who is excited. The person that designed our Stuff Summer Says merch, who has a degree from Delaware. That's Eric Layton. That's our
There you
third
go.
reference of merch on the show.
Merch.
So,
Good. See, we should have gotten a counter.